Low or an even heavier weapon. But why is this so? Give you a side of fries, a side of points. With my McDonald's rewards now, every order earns points redeemable for free McDonald's. We're going to take the trade-in, but the offer is good only today. The dealer gives you a trade-in offer lower than you expected. Will you take it? Should you take it? It feels like you're in the middle of some weird game show. Where did that music come from? Wait, is that? What? No. Really? Next time, start with CarMax and get a custom offer good for 7 days, so you have plenty of time to compare your options without any of the pressure. The way trade-ins, appraisals, and car selling should be. CarMax. Important. Well, because planning is everything, or in this case, the lack thereof. Nice. Having a dedicated hotkey for raising and or lowering one's weapon would solve more gameplay problems than you can currently think of. I want to give you 3 examples. Firstly, let's say you're moving towards an objective, but you have to cross a relatively open field with little to no cover. With how it is now, if you have high enough strength and endurance levels, you'll always be ready for action as soon as you touch the ground. So as long as you can back it up with soft skills, there are currently no takeaways from maniacally moving through a potentially dangerous area, but there definitely should be. Here's what I mean by saying that planning is everything. For the sake of argument, let's say that raising and lowering your weapon was a thing in Tarkov. And in this particular example, let's leave the land bridge and all the other paths out. Would you sprint like this, bunny hop even, and risk getting caught out in the open with not enough time to react? I mean, there's no danger in sight, you can't hear any shots, so why not speed things up by doing this? The game certainly allows you to do it. Or would you approach it with caution, assess that there is limited hard cover, sprint to the nearest one, observe for a bit, and then do the same until you're in the clear? In all honesty, which of these two approaches better fits Escape from Tarkov? Hey, we're still talking about EFT as a slower-paced tactical shooter, right? I think back from time to time when I first got into it. Coming from Arma 3, I didn't need much adjusting at all. I was surprised to find that raising and lowering one's weapon was not a thing in Tarkov. The second and third examples revolve around you and your teammates defending or breaching a room. We all know how it can be done in the current state of the game. However, introduce a bit of inertia when moving faster, and the whole concept of what's possible would change. It would change for the better, in my opinion. No more rushing and jumping in and still coming out on top, because, it's a thing now. But we're all aware that that's precisely how it's done. Right before you breach a room, you would actually have to take it slow and prepare. If it's a one-man, single point of entry breach, you'd have to slice those corners before making entry. Not to mention if the guy, or even guys, inside the room know you're coming. You can see just how much of an impact on the gameplay this would have. One more thing I want to show is how Arma 3 deals with this. By default, your character has his weapon lowered. You raise it by left-clicking once. Now, if you move, unless you aim down sight, this happens. However, there is a combat pace hotkey, so when you press it, your character will maintain the high ready stance. It might sound confusing to you if you haven't played Arma, but trust me, it's super intuitive. And the CQB is fantastic, especially with a coordinated team. Once you get used to the slower, but much more tactical approach, you can appreciate the hell out of it. I think you have a pretty good idea of how changing these things would affect Tarkov. How do you guys truly feel about this? I just can't wrap my head around the fact that this actually has benefits. What if there was a delay between each jump you can do? I've said it before, and I'll repeat it. Vaulting would fit the game's MO much, much more than jumping. I thought to myself, hey, maybe I'm just stubborn, so I tried bunny hopping with a full gear set. Yeah, not fun.
Ты замесу, что ли, хочешь? Будь ты замес!